Good evening to you, wherever you may be in this glorious county. Humboldt Crabs baseball is on the air. Hi, I'm Hoke Holcomb, along with my broadcasting buddy, the Professor, Benjamin Schaefer, coming to you from the Don Turbush announcer's booth high atop the Arcata ballpark. We're located just a block from the historic plaza in downtown Arcata. And this evening, Benjamin, the second of a three-game series between two storied franchises, the Humboldt Crabs in their 74th year of existence, and the Knights of Corvallis, Oregon, arguably one of the finest baseball teams in the entire West Coast.
Indeed. Well, I was just thinking about the Giants.
That's good.
I was like,
that's
well,
good.
yeah, I guess they are one of the best.
Are they paying your salaries? Are they the Giants? Anyhow, the Crabs won an exciting ball game last night by a score of 6-2. All the scoring came early in the ball game, within the first 6 innings, actually. The Crabs jumped out to a 1-0 lead on a wild pitch. The starter, Cason Cunningham, for the Knights, walked the bases loaded and then wild pitched in a run. So the Crabs tallied without benefit of a base hit. They did not get a base hit that inning, but they led 1-0. However, in the top of the second, a 2-run home run by James Anderson that hit the light stand about 10 feet above the wall in left center field, about the 343 mark, that probably could have gone to the freeway heading north had it not hit that light. I mean, it was crushed, and suddenly the Knights were on top 2-1. But in the 5th inning, the Crabs came back to knot it up with a home run of their own by Jason Critch, a 2-out shot to tie the game at 2 apiece. Again, they had hurler Zach Walland, and so the Crabs won by a score of 6-2. Tonight, we've got the second of this 3-game set, and we will be concluding with a day game tomorrow. Benjamin and my favorite games
Definitely.
are daytime games, and that one will begin at 12:30. And at the conclusion of the Sunday games, as is a tradition here at the Arcata ballpark, the kids will get a chance to run the bases and high-five or maybe low-five the Crabs players between third base and home run. And home plate, I should say, home run. Home runs, we had a couple of them last night to start the season off, one by each team. And all in all, a very successful beginning. It was actually the second game of the season for the Knights, and obviously the first for the Crabs. We've got the opening lineups for tonight's team, so let me start by giving you the lineups for the visiting Corvallis Knights. Leading off and playing center field will be Chandler Anderson. Hitting second and doing the catching, Austin Bake. Hitting third and serving as the designated hitter will be Cameron Haskell. Hitting cleanup in left field, Chad Stevens. Batting fifth in right field, Austin Feist. Hitting sixth at first base, James Anderson, he of the long ball last night, accounting for both of the Knights' runs. Batting seventh at third base will be Corey Conklin. Hitting eighth at second, Alec Cook. Batting ninth in left field, Austin Girding. And on the mound for the Knights will be Landon Bourassa. Bourassa, the starter for the Knights. Looking down on the field, the managers of the Knights and Crabs are getting together, exchanging lineup cards with the men in black. And now to give us the lineup for the Humboldt Crabs, here's the Professor, Benjamin Schaefer.
Thanks, Hope. Bronson Grubbs will lead off in center field. Coco Figueredo at second base bats second. Connor Blair in left field bats third. And McCarthy Tatum will be the cleanup hitter at third base. Chase Larson at first base bats fifth. Johnny Mendoza will catch and bat sixth. Otis Statham in right field bats seventh. Wesley Gibson Gone at shortstop bats eighth. And Jackson Critch will be the DH and bat ninth. On the mound for the Crabs is a returning member of the Crabs from last year. That's Andrew Najee Bush. Last year he was 2-2 with an ERA of 2.41. In 41 innings pitched, he struck out 60 batters and walked only 12. So a fine season last year for Andrew Najib Bush.
Yeah, my recollection is that he was particularly strong in the second half of the season.
I believe you're correct.
So it'll be great to have Andrew back. There are only 4 Crabs returning, 3 of them
so
from
Wallace,
last year.
Najib Bush.
Kyle Watkins.
Kyle Watkins,
Kyle
right.
Watkins. And the 4th is Austin. Where are we? I'm looking now. Ryan Sullivan. Ryan Sullivan was not with the team last year, but you will recall, yes, year before last, Ryan was pitcher for us. All 4 returnees this season to the Crabs are moundsmen, so no position players are coming back. For a while, we thought we were going to get Kyle Callahan back. You'll recall Kyle, a very fine player for the Crabs last season, but it turned out that he had other obligations that he had to fulfill and could not rejoin the Crabs this season. Do we have the umpires for tonight's game?
I believe you wrote them down earlier tonight. I don't know where you wrote it down.
No, I didn't write them down. I don't think I did. I do see our friend Don Hofacker out there, and I don't know if Don's going to be behind the plate tonight.
No, he's not. He's at first base, I believe.
Okay, all right.
And
we will find out. It's a much smaller crowd tonight. Of course, the opening evening contingent always hovers around 1,000, but a more casual evening tonight. The Crabgrass Band is not here this evening, but if you're making plans for tomorrow, the Crabgrass Band, the world-famous Crabgrass Band, will be with us for tomorrow's contest that will begin at 12:30. Tim Warner introducing the Crabs as they take their position in the field to the crowd. And let us thank one of the folks who helped keep the Crabs on the field and on the air. And that would be Compass Community Credit Union. Want a better bank? Try a better credit union. Introducing Compass Community Credit Union. Formerly California State and Federal Employees Credit Union, we are now open to the community. We offer absolutely free checking with 0 requirements. Plus, we have super low rates on our loans to help with all your banking needs. Give us a call, toll free at 800-440-8662 or visit compassccu.org. New name. Same great credit union since 1951, a member of the NCUA. That's Compass Community Credit Union. Now we're ready for our national anthem. Nice rendition of our national anthem tonight. And are we getting those umpires or not? What's happening?
It's Larry at first, Mo at second, Curly's at home.
No, don't start on them. It's only the second game of the season. And remember our vow. Going to be nice to the umpires this year.
I don't remember that vow at all.
I think
I
so.
remember making no
You
such
wrote it
vow.
on
It's
the-
Justin
you wrote-
Islis at home plate.
Okay.
Don Holpackers at first and Michael Cowens at third. I'm sure I made no. I don't make vows in general, first of all. And
Who's on at third?
it's Islis, Cowan at third. Islis at first. At home plate, Cowan at third.
First.
And Don's at first.
Very good. All right. On the mound for the Crabs, the right-hander, Andrew Najib Bush. As Benjamin mentioned to you, he had a fine season for the Crabs last year. And my recollection is on target. He was the opening game pitcher last year.
Yeah, I believe he was.
For the Crabs.
You're correct about that.
Big right-hander. Now, he looks a little different this season. Last season, Andrew had a little bit less hair on his head and a little bit more hair on his face. I recall that he had a beard last season, but he is clean-shaven this year, but he's got a little bit more hair coming out of the cap. He'll be pitching this evening to Johnny Mendoza, who was also the catcher in last night's ball game. Chase Larson will be at first base. Coco Figueiredo at second. McCarthy Tatum will be at third base. Wesley Gon Gibson will be the shortstop. In left field, it'll be Connor Blair, Brandon Grubbs in center, and Otis Statham will be in right field. They've got some new fielding charts on good sturdy paper for us this year, but the second baseman is way out. The second baseman is on the fielding chart is positioned between the left fielder and the right fielder. And then Brandon Grubbs, I think he's in a soccer game 2 blocks away in center, so right-hander. And the next pitch is taken for a called strike one.
Pinched in a little bit.
Fastball misses away. 2 balls and a strike. Anderson has some speed. You'll recall he got the infield single to start last night's game off on a ground ball to shortstop. Just beat it out to first. Fastball again outside, so Najib Bush falls behind the leadoff hitter for the Corvallis Knights. The count 3 balls and a strike. The 3-1 offering is right down the heart of the plate for a called strike two. And the payoff pitch. Fouled off to the right and out of play. We have some clouds, some haze out beyond center field. Right above the ballpark, a lot of blue sky, some wispy white clouds, and sunshine. A little cooler than it was for last night's ball game. I'd guess we're in the high 50s. The 3-2 pitch again fouled off to the right out of play. So Anderson fouling off a couple of Najib Bush fastballs. And we'll do it again, 3-2. Gets the sign from Johnny Mendoza and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Blew it by him with a fastball. 3 in a row. That time he could not catch up with a high strike. 1 down. That'll bring up Austin Bake. I believe I'm pronouncing that correct. Is it Bake? B-A-E-K? Beck. Beck. Austin Beck. Okay. The pitch to Beck is taken for a call, strike one. Fastball just under the letters. Beck did not play in last night's contest. Another right-handed hitter. And he takes another fastball for a called strike two. Last year, Najib Bush had a 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Struck out 60 batters in, I think, 41, 42 innings. The 0-2 pitch just misses a little bit outside. 1-2 the count. 2-1 pitch. Got him swinging. Again with a fastball. 2 up, 2 down. My recollection is that the Crabs hurlers, the two of them, Pham and Zach Wallace struck out 15 batters last night. Is that right?
Yep.
15, yeah. Left-handed hitting designated hitter Cameron Haskell to the plate. And Haskell swings on the first pitch and fouls it off to the left. Third baseman gives it a run, but it's going to be back into the play area in left field. Strike one. Haskell 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. He scored one of the 2 runs. He scored on the home run by James Anderson.
Awesome, thank you.
The 0-1 pitch. High. A ball and a strike. 3 players named Austin in the lineup tonight for the Knights. High pop up again. That's going to be out of play. McCarthy Tatum gives it a look, but well out of play. So the count now a ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, Liam was remembering last year the Crabs had 2 Kyles beginning with the letter K. 1 Kyle, he's back, beginning with the letter C. And we also had a Kyler. Had 3 Kyles and a Kyler last season for the Crabs. 1 and 2 to Cameron Haskell. Curveball got him swinging. So a lot of fastballs, but he struck out Haskell with the curve, and the Knights go down in order on strikes in the first inning. At the end of half an inning, it's the Knights nothing, and the Crabs coming to bat. You're listening to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480 Arcadia, Eureka. Long, lanky right-hander on the mound. Used to refer to as a tall drink of water. He's got to be around 6'5", 6'6". Is that right? We know 6'6"? 6'5", yeah. Right-hander.
Number 2 center fielder, Bronson Grubbs.
Landon Barassa, big right-hander. He'll face Bronson Grubbs, Coco Figueiredo, and Connor Blair. Grubbs 1 for 5 last night, but it was a big one, a big 2-run RBI in the 4th inning on a base hit, and he takes a strike, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch misses high and away, a ball and a strike. Pleasant night for baseball. A lot of folks in sweaters and light jackets. Breaking ball inside, and the count even now at 2. The 2-2 offering. Ooh, high and tight. Backs him off the plate, and the count goes full. will set the Knights for you defensively after this payoff pitch to Grubbs. The pitch. Line drive into center right field, and it's going to be in there, taken on one hop by the right fielder Feist, brought back into the infield, and so a leadoff single for Bronson Grubbs. Feist is in right, Chandler Anderson, the center fielder, in left. It's Austin Girding in the infield, James Anderson at first base, Alec Cook at second, Chad Stevens is the shortstop, and Corey Conklin, the third baseman. Kiko Figueiredo 1 for 3 in last night's contest. Takes a look down at Brad Morgan at the third base coaching. There's no box out there. They're not even putting the boxes out there this year. No one pays any attention to them. Fastball a bit inside, 1-0. Yeah, do you notice that, Benjamin? There's no coaching boxes this year. They said no coaches are paying attention to them anyhow. Why waste the lime?
Yeah, lines are really hard to come by.
Yeah, you know. The next pitch high with a fastball. It's 2-0. Just underway, bottom of the first inning. Knights down in order on strikes in the top half of the frame. Bronson Grubbs leads at first after a leadoff single. The 2-0 pitch to Coco Figueiredo. It almost hits him. It goes to the backstop. It's 3-0, and moving down to second base on the wild pitch is Bronson Grubbs.
Pass ball.
You calling that a pass ball, huh? All right.
Never get to do that.
Benjamin Schaefer, in addition to announcing, serving as the fourth umpire in the field, is actually the official scorer for the game, and he ruled out a pass ball.
That's a pass ball.
3-0 the count to Figueiredo.
It's a tough position being the official scorer. It's kind of a godlike power.
Well, it's tough when your face is full of food. I mean, are you watching the game or, or
Oh,
not?
mister, I just stuffed myself with two
burritos.
Two chicken pot pies before the game.
Oh, no, I only had one. I didn't even finish it, but it was so great. We're going to talk about that chicken pot pie. The pitch is 3-0 pitch is an automatic down the heart of the plate, and it's 3-1 now to Figueiredo. Grubbs leading off at second base. The shortstop is closest to him. Second baseman far away from the bag with a left-handed hitter at the plate. A look back at second. The 3-1 pitch fouled off to the left. So from 3-0, we go to a full count. Last night's starting pitcher, Cunningham, threw a lot of pitches in that first inning. And he only ended up pitching, I think, 4 innings, didn't he? Or no, I guess he went 5. I don't think he made it through the 5th. We'll check. 3-2 the count now to Figueiredo. 3-2 pitch. Ground ball weakly to the third baseman. He cannot come up with it. Everybody's going to be safe, and I think that'll be an infield hit. I don't think he'd have got, even if he'd have come up with it cleanly. That was a very tough play. A slow roller, just fair down the third base line. Third baseman tried to glove it, but could not do so, and I think it's going to be an infield single. The ruling is a hit. So an infield single for Figueiredo. The Crabs now with runners at the corners, nobody out. And here is Connor Blair. Right-handed hitter. And the pitch to Blair is a breaking ball taken for a called strike 1. Blair did not see action last night, I don't believe. Goes to Butte College, a sophomore, 6 foot, 205-pounder, right-handed hitter. The coaches, the manager, the announcers were all just learning the new players on the Humboldt Crabs. From the stretch, the pitch to Blair, high and tight, 1-1. Crabs threatening here in the home half of the first. Runners at the corners and nobody out. Heart of the order at the plate now. Blair, Tatum, and Larson, the 3 through 5 hitters, trying to cash in.
Big opportunity early for the Crabs.
That's right down the heart of the plate. Fastball, strike 2. So Barossa ahead of the count now, a ball and 2 strikes. From the Knights' standpoint, this would be an outstanding time for a strikeout. Instead, a throw to first base and diving safely back is Figueiredo. Blair looking down to Brad Morgan for signs. The sign will be whether Figueiredo will be running on this pitch. From the set, Barrasa's 1-2. Strike three called.
Same
Nice
spot
pitch.
as the
And that's
last
it.
one.
That was the third strike.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The count was 2-2. The scoreboard had it wrong. So the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, not strike 3. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Blair. At the set. Again, a throw to first. Not really close, although Figueiredo dove back. Barrasa at the belt. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him with a high, hard one. Big strikeout for Landon Barrasa, and now it'll be the Crabs cleanup hitter, McCarthy Tatum, who had a fine opening game for the Crabs last night with a couple of doubles. What did
And
he
a
end
walk.
up?
A couple of doubles and a walk.
Yeah, what was he, 2 for 4?
He was 2 for 3.
2 for 3, okay. Big right-handed hitter, big right-handed pitcher. Something's got to give. Oh, it hit him. Hit him in the back.
Breaking pitch.
Certainly unintentional. But Tatum hit by a pitch. You recall the Crabs scored last night on a hit by pitch. So the bases are FOC, full of crustaceans, for Chase Larson.
0 for 3 last night with a walk.
Now batting number 19, first baseman Chase Larson.
Infield looking for 2. Right-hander versus right-hander. Barrasa gets a sign from Beck. Goes to the stretch. The pitch to Larson, swung on and missed, strike 1. Bases loaded, 1 out here in the home half of the first. We're scoreless, but the Crabs threatening early. And now the pitcher and catcher, Nate, want to make sure they're on the same page. And so Barrasa calls Beck out, and they want to have a talk.
The 18th birthday. Gracie's a Crabs employee. She shows her dedication to the Crabs. She worked on her birthday, which was yesterday. Happy birthday, Gracie.
Tomorrow is roller derby day at the park, and we were asking last night, what's the name of the Humboldt roller derby team? And it's Humboldt Roller Derby. That is the name. Nothing else. Not the Bombers, not the whatevers. 0-1 the count. The pitch to Larson. Inside, 1-1.
But they have they do have a mascot.
What is the mascot?
Lucille.
I thought that was the Giants mascot. Isn't that
Well,
Lucille?
that's a seal, not a
Oh.
literal seal, but
Oh.
a seal. But Lucille is just I don't know what Lucille is. She's in roller skates.
Oh, well. The pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. He's up with it. The throw to second's not going to be in time. Everybody's safe.
Yeah, I was wondering. That ball was hit deep in the hole. And it didn't look like he was going to have time to make the out at second.
I'd call that an infield hit.
I agree.
Yeah. You'd say fielder's choice if he had any chance to get anyone anywhere, but he didn't. So the Crabs score 1. The bases remain loaded. And Johnny Mendoza comes to the bat. The tallest guy on the field is now facing the shortest guy on the field. Barossa about 6'5", Mendoza about 5'7". The pitch to Johnny. He takes it for a call, strike 1. Mendoza 0 for 2 last night. He walked a couple of times. The pitch. Ground ball foul outside the first baseman. Count is 0-2, I believe.
Threw out a runner trying to steal.
Yes, their leadoff batter yesterday tried
right.
to steal second, and Mendoza cut him down. So Barraza ahead on the count now. No balls and 2 strikes. Working from the stretch with the bases juiced. And the 0-2. High and away. One and 2 to Johnny Mendoza. Crab runners take their modest leads. The 1-2. Just inside, 2-2. Two and 2 to Mendoza. The 2-2 pitch. Got him looking, and Mendoza knew it. A big strikeout, the second big strikeout of the inning for Barraza, and now it'll take a base hit to bring anybody home. Here is Otis Statham. He had a rough opening night for the Crabs yesterday. Struck out 3 times. Comes up here with the bases loaded and 2 gone. Crabs have tallied 1. Barraza at the set. And the pitch. Taken just outside 1-0.
That was a close pitch.
Yeah, it was. The pitch. That's in there. Fastball right down the heart of the plate. 1-1. Statham comes to us from the University of Nevada at Reno. Part of the Wolf Pack, who did have a run in the basketball tournament this last year. And the pitch. Fouled off over by the dugout of the visiting Knights, so it's 1-2. So Barraza trying to get out of it cheap enough with just the lone tally plated by the Crabs. 1 strike away from getting out of a tough jam. The 1-2. He does it. Strike 3.
He got him.
No.
No.
They're saying no. First base umpire said he did not go around. Boy, sure looked like he went around to me.
Great call, Don. Thanks.
Now there's a throw back to second base. They got the Crab runner picked off, and he is out. Boy, that was as strange a play as you're going to see. The runner at second base took off for third. Is that Figueredo? Yeah. And he was then when the play was called a ball rather than a strike. He was dead duck between second and third. They threw there, and he was tagged out. So the Crabs settled for the single run. There was 2 left, and at the end of an inning, it's the Crabs 1 and the Knights nothing. That was a strange ending to the first inning. You listen to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480 Arcadia, Eureka. What the heck was he doing? home business or land, Humboldt Mortgage will help you get it done. Call Bob Jay Lawton at Humboldt Mortgage in Eureka or go to humboldtmortgage.net. Okay, that'll bring up Chad Stevens, the cleanup hitter for the Knights. He'll be followed by Austin Feist and James Anderson. Andrew Najib Brush. Not Bush, Brush.
No, I have Bush.
It's
Brush.
Brush.
That's right, Najee Brush. I knew that.
And the first pitch is a fastball high and tight, 1-0. Stevens, left fielder.
1 for 4 last night.
And he takes the fastball away, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. In there for a called strike.
Crabs are wearing their road uniforms tonight. Navy blue with the red piping on the shoulders.
Numbers on the back. Fastball for a called strike, too.
And Humboldt written across the front. That was my idea. Not that it was my idea that prompted the uniform, but I had the idea.
Of having Humboldt for the road.
Yes.
Fastball off the glove of Mendoza. The count goes full, 3-2. I think they're colorful, but I don't know. Somehow they look like softball uniforms to me.
Yeah, I have to say, from a fashion standpoint, they don't really do much for me. But
the 3-2. Line drive into right field. That's going to be in there for a base hit. So a leadoff single, the first of the ball game for the Knights. And that'll bring up Austin Feist.
Batting next, number 8, right fielder Austin Feist.
I think our uniforms really should emphasize Krusty more. I think we should have one, like a home uniform with Krusty, like on the
You
uniform.
really have a kind of crab fetish.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Well, I don't know. You know. The first few years I wouldn't have said it, but you know, after a while.
But you know, I am a fan of Krusty.
Here's the pitch, ground ball foul behind the plate. 0-1. Stevens on at first. Nobody out here in the top of the second. Crabs up 1-0. Soft toss to first. Right-hander versus right-hander. Those of you who are watching the streaming say, well, we can see that, but this is a radio broadcast too. There's a ground ball to short. This could be 2. Steps on second and throw to first in time for the double play. So perfectly placed for Gon Gibson. He fielded it, took 2 steps, stepped on the bag, and the throw in plenty of time to double Feist.
That's
down.
the first double play of the season.
I do believe you're right.
We did not have one last night.
Here's James Anderson. In the second inning last night, Mr. Anderson sent one over the left field wall right at the 343 sign, or I guess 1 foot to the right of it. And takes a curveball for a called strike 1.
That was one of the hardest hit balls I've seen here
That was
in
mashed.
a long time.
Foul ball back to the screen. You know, one of the terms they've used for home run, there have been a million of them, right? Dinger and so. One of them was tater. Tater. And you'd say that was mashed tater time last night because
Yeah.
that was truly belted. Good to see Belt was just a stomach flu and not some kind of serious injury last night.
Oh, really?
They
That's
reported
good.
he
It's good
left
to know.
early.
Yeah.
Here's the 0-2. Curveball got him looking. Strike 3 call.
Nice pitch.
4th strikeout of the ball game for Najib Brush, and the Knights are gone in the second. No runs, a hit, no errors, nobody left, and at the end of an inning and a half, it's Crabs 1, Knights nothing. You listen to Crabs Baseball, KJOE 1480, Arcadia Eureka is stepping on me. Slice of Humboldt Pie. At Slice of Humboldt Pie, everything is made in-house and fresh. And, oh, is it delicious? They sent up some chicken pot pies this
That was
evening.
very kind of them. We rather
wonderful.
appreciate that.
And I'll tell you, their chicken pot pies got a lot of chicken in them. It's not like you have to hunt for the chicken. There's lots of chicken in that chicken pot
somebody
pie.
hunted for the chicken.
And it is, at some point.
Or
we're
maybe
not going
not.
to get
I
into
don't know,
that. Yeah, all right. We'll talk more about the Slice of Humboldt Pie after this inning, but right now, it'll be Otis Statham. He was at the plate in the weird ending of the bottom of the first inning where a crab runner got thrown out.
I think Liam described the situation correctly. Is what happened is the runner at second. Who was that? That was Tatum. Tatum thought that the inning was over and he was headed back to the dugout.
Yeah. Thought it was strike three, which it sure looked like it was strike three, but it was not called that. A ball and a strike now to Statham. He'll be followed by Gibson Gahn and Jason Critch. The 1-1. Fastball outside, 2-1.
Well, it's just very bad form to question the umpire over there at first base.
Yeah. I'm going to hold you to that.
When
Here's the 2-1.
I mean, when it's
High pop-up behind the plate. The catcher now in fair territory, now in foul, but he makes the catch in foul ground. One down. That was a good major league pop-up. One away. Here's Wesley Gibson Gahn, who executed that double play flawlessly in the top half of this inning.
he was 1 for 3 with a run scored, and last night he also walked.
The pitch to him is a bit inside, 1-0. Foul ball off to the right and out of play. So Barraza ahead on the count, a ball and 2 strikes to the number 8 hitter in the Crabs order. The next pitch, grounded to the third baseman. He's up with it. Conklin throws across the diamond, 2 down. Here's Jackson Critch. He hit a solo home run to tie the ball game at 2 in last night's ball game in the 5th inning. And Jackson takes a curveball for a called strike 1. Crabs had 3 base hits and a hit batter, but only were able to plate 1 in the 1st inning. Another pitch on the outside corner, a pretty pitch, 0-2. Barraza ahead on the count now, 0-2. And the next pitch is
that was
just
close.
outside.
The Knights were headed off the field.
That was the kind of pitch that confounded the Crab base runners in the last inning, or the base runner. He was headed to the dugout. That's fouled at the plate. Just got a piece of it to stay alive. So the count remains 1-2 to Jackson Critch.
Ma'am, could you put the lights on, please? Thank you.
The 1-2 grounded just fair. It hits the third base bag and bounds into left field. Critch rounds first and he heads for second. The left fielder's up with it. The throw to second, no throw. And Critch is in with a double.
He didn't hit it that hard.
You talk about a ball that hugged the line. That one did, and it hit the bag and bounded into left field.
Had a lot of spin on it.
Yeah.
When it hit the bag, and
so the Crabs with a runner now in scoring position and 2 down. And here's the leadoff hitter, Bronson Grubbs, who singled to open up the Crabs' first inning.
came around to score the only run of the game.
The pitch from Barraza is taken for a called strike 1.
4 hits now for the Crabs.
See if these guys get something to eat. 0-1 the count. The pitch, and Bronson fouls it off back of us and out of play, and the count now a ball and 2 strikes. Barraza had 0-2. Swings and fouls it off, tips it, and the catcher does not hold. So again, another life for Bronson Grubbs. You know what major leaguers' average is in an 0-2 count?
I don't.
It's under 100.
Yeah, because everybody's swinging for the fences, right?
Well, no, just 0-2. I mean, they're just They're
but I wonder if it's always that's
part of it.
I wonder if that's lower than it used to be at 0-2.
Curveball misses away 1-2.
Because there was a time when, they shortened up their swings 0-2.
Yeah.
And now I don't really think most batters do that anymore.
Some do.
Some do, yeah.
1-2 to Grubbs. Barraza at the set. The 1-2 offering. Lined over off the glove of the pitcher. He gets it, and he's got no play. Boy, that was hit hard. Glad he got his glove up right back at him. A line shot. So credit Grubbs with his second base hit on the play. Jackson Critch goes to third. Woo!
Next, number 1, Coco Figueredo.
Crabs now with runners at the corners and 2 down. And here is Coco Figueredo, who singled in his first at bat. Figueredo, left-handed hitter. The pitch, taken a little bit low, 1-0. Crab runners at the corners take their lead. The 1-0. Lined into left field. That's going to be in there for a base hit. Over to cut it off is Girding, putting to third. The throw to third is not going to be in time, and now moving over to second is Figueredo. So Grubbs, with good base running, makes it to third. Critch scores on Figueredo's RBI single. Figueredo takes second on the throw in.
We got a shout out for first Crabs game. Thea from Boston. Welcome to the Arcata ballpark in Humboldt Crabs baseball.
So it's 2-0. Crab runners at second and third, and Connor Blair coming to the bat. Blair did not play in last night's game, right?
No, he did not.
Oh, that's right.
He struck out in his first at bat tonight.
So Blair with a couple of runners on the pads and 2 down. Barraza at the set and the pitch. Blair takes a curveball for a called strike 1. A little 2-out rally here. A double and a pair of singles. The Crabs have netted 1. The 0-1 to Blair. Curveball again, strike 2 called. Too good. Uncle Charlie's has Blair in the hole, 0-2. Barraza working from the stretch with runners at second and third. And his 0-2 to Blair. Misses, ball bounces away from the catcher, and the Crab runner from third is going to come in to score. Bronson Grubbs scores and makes it 3-0 on that wild pitch. For the second time in this series, the Crabs have scored a run on a wild pitch.
That was mighty wild. That took a big hop up against the screen.
So Figueredo now at third base with 2 down, and the count of ball and 2 strikes on Blair. That was on an 0-2 pitch. Here's the 1-2. Curveball got him swinging. So Blair down on strikes for the second time. However, the Crabs come up with a pair of runs on on 3 base hits, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 2 complete, it's the Crabs 3 and the Knights nothing. You're listening to Crabs Baseball on KGOE 1480 Arcadia Eureka. Crabs leading by a 3-0 count as we head into the top of the 3rd inning. Andrew Najee Brush has faced the minimum amount of Knight batters. Gave up 1 single, but that was quickly converted into a double play. Najee Brush has fanned 4 batters in the first 2 innings, has not walked a batter. As we mentioned last year, he had a 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Here's Corey Conklin.
A little bit cooler at the ballpark tonight, and a little bit more.
Wait a second. Is this is not Corey Conklin? Yes, it is. Okay, got it. Corey Conklin, left-handed hitter at the plate. I'm sorry, Benjamin. I stepped on your line. First pitch is.
Oh, I was just talking about the weather. That it's not. It's the fog has come in a little bit tonight.
Yeah.
So we have some low clouds, some sunshine, but it's much cooler than it was last night. Today was a gorgeous day in the Humboldt Bay area.
Yep. Saturday, the farmers market. There's a foul ball off to the left. Getting more and more things now. And some nice lettuce and carrots out there today. Garlic. No balls and 2 strikes to Conklin leading off the Knights' 3rd inning. He'll be followed by Alec Cook and Austin Girding. Tries to check his swing. Does he go around? Yes, he does not go around. So he was able to hold up on an inside pitch, and it's 1-2. Najee Brush will be heading to Chico State in the fall. Right-hander gets his sign from Johnny Mendoza, and the 1-2 pitch. Fouled at the plate over by the on-deck batter, Alec Cook. Yeah, there's no coaching box, and there's no on-deck circle.
We've never had an on-deck circle.
No, we haven't had an on-deck circle.
I didn't remember even having a coaching box last year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we had, but nobody paid attention to it. The 1-2 pitch. Misses outside, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes to Corey Conklin. Swing and a miss. 5th strikeout of the ball game for Najee Brush. 1 away, and that'll bring up Alec Cook.
The other thing we don't have that we never have, strangely, is
the rosin bag.
The rosin bag.
Never have had a rosin bag.
We even bought a rosin bag many years ago, you'll recall.
Yes, and donated it to
and
the
it
team.
never made it out to the mound.
Fastball taken for a call, strike 1 by Cook. Cook slight of stature.
I'd be very interested to know what happened to that rosin bag.
The 0-1 pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike 2. Well, a rosin bag was one of my baseball treasures as a kid. I got the last rosin bag ever used by the Pacific Coast League Los Angeles Angels.
Wow, that's cool.
I ran out on the field and grabbed
That's
it
very
after
cool.
the game. Yeah. 0-2. Breaking ball is hit slowly to the second baseman. Fielded there by Figueiredo, and the throw to first in time to get the speedy Alex Cook. 2 down. Two away in the third inning for the Knights, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Austin Girding.
0 for 3 last night.
Left-handed batter, and he takes a pitch wide, 1-0. The 1-0 offering. Line foul off to the left, and the count even at 1. One and one to Girding. Next pitch misses high and outside. 2 balls and a strike. Again, the left side of the infield and the left fielder have sun to deal with at this point in the ball game. Fastball on the outside corner for a called strike 2. 2-2 the count. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball fouled back onto the screen, and it goes full now, 3-2. The 3-2 pitch. Got him looking. Got him looking. 6 strikeouts in 3 innings for Najee Brush. He has just bowled them over. 9 up and 9 down. At the end of 2.5, the score remains Crabs 3, Knights nothing. You listen to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcata, Eureka. Reminder, tomorrow afternoon, in addition to having a great ball game, you will be able to enjoy the world-famous Crabgrass Band.
12:30, be here.
Be here or be square. Middle of the Crabs order. McCarthy Tatum, big right-handed hitter to lead off. He was hit by a pitch, and he takes a curveball on the inside corner for a called strike 1. Oh, 0-1 to McCarthy Tatum. Ground ball just foul outside third base.
We have not had a put-out in the outfield yet in this game.
You are correct. 0-2 to Tatum. He'll be followed by Chase Larson and Johnny Mendoza. High with a fastball, 1-2. The 1-2 misses away. Tatum goes to Fresno State. And the pitch. Line drive over the third baseman's head and into left field. Tatum rounds first. A big turn holds there as the left fielder Girding gets the ball in quickly to the second baseman. A leadoff single for McCarthy Tatum.
Next, number 19, first baseman, Chase Larson.
Third baseman Conklin might have had a shot at that, but I don't think he saw it. I think that came right out of the sun from his point of view.
It was hit pretty hard.
It was, yeah.
Here's Larson, Chase Larson.
It would have been a good play.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fouled at the plate, strike one. No balls and one strike to Chase Larson.
Got a right-hander warming in the bullpen for the Knights.
Well, Krabs already with 6 base knocks. Fastball taken for a called strike 2. So Barraza ahead on the count now, 0-2 to Chase Larson. Barraza has fanned 3 Krabs batters. Throw to first, and they almost got him. They had Tatum leaning the wrong way. He did not have that big a lead, but he was surprised the throw was coming and just scooted back in time. The 0-2 pitch. Larson swings and fouls it at the plate. We'll do it again. No balls and 2 strikes to Larson. Tatum takes his lead at first. He's got a pretty decent lead. He's not going. The pitch is outside now. It's dropped by the catcher, and a late break, and Tatum slides into second base. What are you going to call that one, Benjamin?
Wild pitch.
So no stolen base for Tatum, but some heads-up base running as he saw the ball kick away from the catcher. He was off like a shot. He's got good speed. Tatum, a big guy, 6'6", and he can fly. In scoring position now, the pitch to Larson. It's blocked in the dirt. All right. Back after a brief chat with Barraza. Now behind the plate in the squat, and we're ready to go. Barraza at the set. The pitch. High fly ball into shallow right field. Coming in on it is Feist. He's got it. Tagging and faking. Going to third was Tatum, but he comes back. So Larson, a fly to right, not deep enough to advance the runner. There's now 1 down. And here is Johnny Mendoza, who was called out on strikes to end the first inning. Barraza at the set. A look back at second, and he comes home. Misses low and away, 1-0. The count now to Mendoza. Crab runner in scoring position at second with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Crabs leading 3-0. Ground ball to the right side. First baseman has it bounce off his chest, picks it up and throws to the pitcher. He throws wild by the pitcher. And now coming in to score is Tatum. Moving to second base is Mendoza. And the Crabs lead 4-0.
E3.
All the way?
Yep. No, just 1. Just an error.
So the Crabs are gifted with a run. And now Johnny Mendoza sitting on second base with one out. And the Crabs now leading 4-0. And here is Otis Statham. Statham hit a foul pop-up that Austin Beck caught just in foul territory. Right-hander versus right-hander. Right-hander bearing down in the Knights bullpen. Barossa comes to the plate and a fastball is inside 1-0. Barossa shakes off a sign. Now he's set. The 1-0. Fouled at the plate. Count out even at 1. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for the Knights. 4 runs, 6 hits, and no errors for the Crabs. And Barossa takes a little too long, and so Otis Statham steps out of the batter's box. Takes a practice swing. Now he settles back in. The 1-1 pitch. Down low, 2-1. Mendoza takes his lead at second. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball taken just outside, 3-1. And my guess is if Barossa walks Otis Statham,
that
may be the
He's done.
final pitch he throws tonight.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
3-1 the count. Fastball away, ball 4. So Statham hustles down to first base. The Crabs now with runners at first and second, 1 out. And indeed.
No, I don't think so.
No,
well, maybe. It's hard to tell. Well, no, I just saw him gesture down there, I guess.
That's it.
That looks like that's it, yep.
So the manager of the Knights coming to the mound. A rough outing, his first of the season for the Knights. Landon Barossa will leave having given up 4 runs on 6 hits. All 4 of those runs are earned. There are 2 men on base. One of those, well, we don't know at this point, but they could end up being unearned runs, or they could end up stranded and not score at all. We'll have to find out.
Any number of things could happen.
Could turn into a football game,
Asteroid could hit the planet before we get the...
So, yeah, that would be awful if it happened before the 5th inning. It wouldn't be a complete
That's
game.
right, yeah.
Let's see if we can get a number for the gentleman coming in relief for Landon Barossa. All of the Knights are gathered around, and we're trying to pick up a number for the right-hander who has come in.
Hey, up!
32, all right. Trevor Wells. Trevor Wells. So Wells comes in with 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And Crabs runners on first and second base. and Wesley Gibson gone coming to the bat. Wells is a sophomore at Lynn Benton Community College. And I don't know if Lynn is in Oregon or Washington.
Never heard of it.
Now batting for your humble crowd, number 14, shortstop Wesley Gibson.
Wesley Gibson. I had a Gibson gone. Wesley Gibson. It's our spring training too. Gibson grounded out third to first in the second inning. And he takes a fastball outside 1-0. Knights infield pinched a little toward second base, hoping for the double play. Mendoza at second. Statham at first. The pitch to Gibson. Curveball taken for a called ball. 2-0.
Wow, that was a close pitch.
Two and 0 to Gibson. Wells' next offering misses outside, 3-0. So the reliever comes to the mound and has yet to throw a strike. He's one pitch away from loading him up. The 3-0 right down the heart of the plate, 3-1. At the set. The 3-1 pitch. Hit into right center field. That's
Right.
going to be in there for a base hit and maybe more. It's going to the warning track. One run comes in. The second run is going to be waved to the plate. Here comes the throw to the plate. The catcher gets it, but he cannot corral it. And 2 runs score on a double by Wesley Gibson.
Right field gap. No, he's going to catch up with that one.
Brad Morgan did not hesitate to send Otis Statham, and Otis slid in under the tag, although the catcher actually dropped the ball. But I think had he caught it, Statham would have beaten him to the plate. So the Crabs now lead by a 6-0 count. Wesley Gibson at second base, 1 down, and here is Jackson Critch, who doubled in his only at-bat this evening after homering last night. And he takes a slow curveball low and away, 1-0. One and 0 to Critch. Fastball just misses, 2-0. After Critch, we'll go to the top of the order and Bronson Grubbs. The 2-0 pitch. Hit in the air to right field. The right fielder a long run, and he's going to have to play it on a hop. Holding at third base will be Gibson, as he had to hold up. Didn't know whether the right fielder Feist had a chance to get there, but Crabs now with runners at the corners. Oh, still just 1 out, and we go to the top of the order in Bronson Grubbs. Crabs have already had 8 base hits in this ballgame. Right-hander versus right-hander. The pitch to Grubbs is taken low and away, 1-0. Grubbs with a pair of singles, and he has scored both times. Wells at the set. Oh, boy, he takes a long time, and finally Bronson Grubbs steps out of the batter's box. I mean, he went into the stretch and just stayed there. Ball at his chest. We'll do it again. Wells at the set and the pitch. In the dirt, a good block by Beck to prevent any advance by Critch at first base.
Still only one out, so it's important to keep Critch over there for the Knights at least.
Try and turn two. 2-0 the count. That's right in there for a called strike one. It looked like he was taken all the way. 2-1 to Grubbs. Wells at the belt and the pitch. Ground ball to the third baseman. He's going to go to the plate, and they got him. A good play by Corey Conklin throwing to Austin Beck to cut down Wesley Gon Gibson. On the play, Critch moves to second base, and Grubbs at first, safe at first on the fielder's choice. 2 down, and Coco Figueiredo to the bat. Coco 2 for 2 this evening. We mentioned last night, Coco just graduated from College of the Redwoods, where he played ball for third base coach Brad Morgan. Left-handed hitter. And the pitch to Coco is a fastball taken for a called strike one. Figueiredo actually is a switch hitter. Batting from the left side this evening. And he tries to check his swing. Does not go around. He is able to check, and the count the count goes to 1-1. Critch at second. Grubbs at first. 2 down, the 1-1 count to Coco Figueiredo. The Crabs have already plated 3 here in the third inning. Coco takes a fastball high and outside, 2-1. Scoreboard moving arithmetically. The Crabs got 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 here in the third. 2-1 to Figueiredo. The pitch. Taken low, 3 balls and a strike. Hitters count 3-1. The pitch. Coco lets it go by, and it's taken for a called strike 2, outside corner. A little bit above the knees, and the count goes full, so the Crab runners will be off with the pitch. 2 down, and they'll be scampering. Wells is set. The runners are off. The 3-2 pitch is fouled out of play. Hope to have the Crabs program by next weekend. Seen some advanced portions of it. It's going to be another very fine program for our 74th year of existence. All right, we'll do it again. 3-2. The runners take off. The pitch is hit on one hop to the shortstop. He drops it, picks it up, and everybody's going to be safe. And that's going to be an error on the shortstop. I do believe.
Absolutely.
No question on that. I don't try and jump into Benjamin's territory.
Yeah, I mean,
that was,
you should wait until I say because it's, but
you'll give me some
slack
slack
okay.
on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, bases are loaded. Here's Connor Blair. Now, Connor has had a rough evening. He has twice struck out against Landon Barossa. Now he's taking a look at Trevor Wells for the first time. Bases are full of crustaceans, and the pitch is a curveball taken on the outside corner for a called strike one. Blair, the 9th batter to come up for the Crabs here in the third inning. A base hit here would really break it open. It's already 6-0. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. So Wells ahead on the count now, no balls and 2 strikes to Connor Blair. Comes to us from Butte College. The 0-2 pitch in the dirt, 1-2. Crab runners take their leads from first, second, and third. The 1-2 pitch to Blair is taken for a called strike 3. So Blair, having a rough first outing as a Humboldt Crab, already the hat trick through 3 innings. However, the Crabs come up with 3 runs. There were 3 hits, and
2 errors.
there were 2 errors, and 3 left on base. And at the end of 3, it's the Crabs 6 and the Knights nothing. You listen to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcadia, Eureka. All right. We were talking about slice of Humboldt pie and how delicious it is. From roasting full chickens for our chicken pot pies to peeling every apple that we use on our fruit pies, hot and ready to eat or to take away or dine in. Meat, vegetarian, vegan, as well as gluten-free hand pies. We have something for everyone. Slice of Humboldt Pie is located just off the Arcata Plaza at 828 I Street. Order online or the Slice of Humboldt Pie app and get 10% off your. We're provided Benjamin with half a dozen runs and a 6-run lead, and it's up to you now to carry us to victory.
Thanks, Hope.
There is some kind of conversation going on between the 4 umpires and the Crab manager.
3 umpires, and I think it's one of the coaches from the Knights and Robin.
You're right. It's the 2 managers and the 3 umpires, and we have no idea what that's about. Okay, the lights are out, but they hadn't been on yet. They hadn't been on. They're just coming on. Don't we have a way now to contact Matt Filer down there?
Well, I don't know that Matt knows either.
Well, he's right there. You can find out. He can tell us.
All right, I'll find out.
All right, we're trying to find out what the delay is here. They were pointing up at the lights, but the lights hadn't been on yet. Meanwhile, Andrew Najib Brush is taking extended warm-up pitches. And we're seeing if we can find out what the heck's going on.
Well, I texted Matt, but he appears not to be checking his phone.
Well,
You may have to climb up there and replace a bulb in the lamp, Poke. I don't know.
hey, you think so, huh? I can shinny up that pole.
Lights don't appear to be coming on at all, actually. None of the lights are on.
No.
So I think that's obviously the problem because it is time for the lights to come on for sure.
Now the president of the Crabs board, Bill, is talking with Robin Guyver.
Did somebody forget to pay the PG&E?
I don't know, but
That happens to me occasionally.
I don't know. Well, this could be a real problem because, as Liam points out in the back, you can't play in the dark unless you've had extensive night school education. We are trying to figure out what's going on. And the Crabs are coming off the field, so this could be...
this could be the game if we can't get the lights on.
If we can't get lights, we can't play baseball. We're not calling it yet, but we're going to see what's going on. You want to take over? Somebody should go down. I mean, that's why we have an extra person. Oh, okay. All right. We're trying to get word to you so you'll know what's happening. We don't yet know ourselves. But
well, it's clearly a problem with the lights.
Yeah.
Clearly a problem with the lights. I don't know what else to say. The lights are not on, so that's the story, right? I mean,
it is the story. While we're doing that, why don't you tell the folks about Harper Motors?
Serving North Coast for more than 100 years. You can check out all the latest models, new and used, like the new 2018 Ford F-150 Lariat Truck EcoBoost V6 engine with auto start and stop technology, or the 2018 Ford Flex SUV. Look for the carousel 2 miles north of Eureka or visit them online at harpermotors.com. Harper Motors will donate $50 to Little League for every home run the Crabs hit this season.
So the lights are not turning on, and they sent a Dutch to come here to turn on the lights manually, and until that happens, the game is delayed.
So we're in a delay now because we're waiting. Here comes Dutch now to turn on the lights. And he's here. He's got the key. He's headed for the booth.
All right.
And
so we're going to try and get the lights turned on. There is
maybe
a
we can
delay here in
update
the
you on
ballgame.
some major league action.
Why don't we do that, Benjamin?
In the meantime,
did you finish Harper Motors? Did you tell all
I
the
did. I
folks?
told them all about Harper Motors.
All
The
right, this is
$50
wonderful.
for local Little League. They're
Excellent,
already in
excellent.
the whole 50
Okay.
for every home run the Crabs hit. Let's see. The Giants. No score. They're in the 6th inning. The A's lost 5-4 today to Kansas City.
Kansas City's still in the league?
Yeah,
They're having a rough year.
not very good. Better than Chicago. And that's all the teams that matter, so.
That's it. Well, there is not a lot we can say. I think we should, at this point, maybe send you back to the studio so KGOE, our friends at 1480, can tell you who helps keep the Crabs on the field and on the air. So let's go back to the studio now. You're listening to Crabs Baseball on KGOE 1480, Arcata, Eureka. All right, welcome back to the ballpark. We're in a rain delay. Although there's no rain, we're in an electricity delay. The lights have not come on yet. And Dutch Sullivan, who has been a groundskeeper, assistant groundskeeper here for, gosh, I don't know, decade and a half.
More than that.
Was called on to hustle down here with the key to try and turn the lights on because they did not come on automatically as they were supposed to. Now, there was an old an old video on the Humboldt Crabs. You can go to YouTube, and this must have been, about a decade and a half ago, when Jay Leno was the host of The Tonight Show. They did a special feature, about a 6-minute feature on Crabs baseball. And they came into the booth and they took, pictures of the game and the Crabgrass Band, of course. And then they were trying to show the wackiness of Arcata, and that was the point of the episode. But on the episode, Dutch, who is now trying to turn the lights on for us, they showed Dutch, and he had developed some kind of opener where you could open a beer can in the middle and then just chug it. So it showed him with his device opening the beer can and chugging the beer, and that was Dutch's claim to fame until tonight. But tonight we've got a game hanging in the balance, and hopefully his key will be able to turn on these lights. And the Crabs are particularly hopeful because they built up a 6-0 lead through 3 innings.
Well, we've only played 3 innings. Nobody wants the game to end after 3 innings.
Yeah. You'll recall, some of you have been Crabs fans for a while, that the Crabs used to have double hitters on Wednesday evening, and they'd play 2 7-inning ball games. And the contest would start at 5:30. I kind of loved it, in terms of being a fan. But you talk about a tough time for the fielders in the left side of the infield, and the left fielder and sometimes the center fielder. They would just be blinded by that sun that would make it almost impossible to see certain fly balls out there. It would be like trying to catch a ball in the wind in Candlestick Park. So they gave up the double hitters. We don't have any double hitters anymore, although tomorrow we may have a game and a half if we can't get the lights going tonight. And we'd have to give rain checks to everybody here. So it would be a real mess if they're not able to get these lights on. And it is cooling off.
It's getting cold.
Precipitously.
It's getting very cold.
Yeah.
And I still see no indication that the lights are coming on at all. And it seems to me that if Dutch had the key and I saw him go through the ballpark, they should be coming on by now. It should be a matter of flipping a switch.
Well, it takes a little while for them to come to warm up, to come to full luminosity, if you will.
Yes, but then you would see them at least begin to light up,
Yeah.
but they're not even. There's no spark at all.
So we shall wait and see. Let me recommend to you, fans, that there are some really interesting older videos of Humboldt Crabs from 10, 15 years ago. I saw one last night that had interviews with the late, great Jerry Nutter, and you could see off in the distance Ned Barsulia holding a trophy he had been given. It's just fun to see what the Crabs were like a decade ago. In fact, they are naming the bleachers now in honor of 3 of the founders of the Crabs, so people will know. They can say, "Well, gee, I'm in the Bonamini section." The Bonamini section is the center section, right beneath us here in the announcer's booth. That's the Bonamini section. Then the booth down the third base line is the Nutter bleachers, and named after Jerry Nutter. And then the bleachers down the first base line are named after the great Ned Barsulia, who was general manager here for so many years and head scout. So that's just been done this year. And so you can tell your folks, if you're meeting people here, hey, we're in the Nutter section. We'll be about 6 rows up in the Barsulia section off to the right. That's being done.
Of course, it's a fairly small ballpark, so it's not like...
It is, but boy, we can pack them in, can't we? Had over 1,000 last night.
Oh, yeah.
And we certainly hope you're going to make plans to join us tomorrow afternoon, because the Crabgrass Band will be here, and we won't need lights. So even if we can't get these lights on tonight, we will be playing an afternoon game tomorrow. Now, Humboldt fans are a sturdy bunch because we know about things like power outages that occur in the greater Humboldt area, particularly in wintertime when the winds blow and the rains come in and the power lines go down and the trees fall onto the power lines. So it is a patient group to this point, but as of yet, there is no resolution, and we're not sure how long we're going to be around waiting. So we bear your indulgence. You ought to stop off. They're available in a whole lot of businesses, and pick up a little pocket calendar that has the schedule of all the Crabs games. There is also a listing on that calendar of the special events that will be occurring throughout the summer. And you'll also note on the schedule the days that the Crabgrass Band will be here. And pretty regularly they're going to be here on the weekends, on the Friday and Sunday contests. They take Saturday, as they are tonight, take the Saturday game off.
Well, I see the players scrambling around down in the bullpen for the Knights. Looks to me they're packing up.
No,
they're playing catch.
Pepper. They're playing a little pepper out there. So, we wait. Was that Tom Petty song? The waiting
is the hardest part.
Yeah. And gee, we waited 10 months only to have the second game of the season delayed, hopefully not canceled, as a result of darkness. And we're not on the edge of town. We're in the middle of town here.
Hey. Krusty's out. I see out in right field, picnic area. Maybe Krusty can do something about it.
Home plate umpire.
I'm starting to think, though, there's actually a problem with the lights, because I think Dutch would have gotten them on by now
if it was just a turn of the key.
If that's all it involved.
Well, Benjamin, I guess it's time for your 30-minute lecture on Descartes.
I could do that.
Put it before DeHorse.
19 years, folks. 19 years.
Bad stuff. Bad mojo. There's a colorful crowd tonight. Lots of colorful clothes. You know, one of the special events that's going to take place is to wear your colors. I guess your school colors. And we still don't have any.
We got nothing.
Nothing going on.
But they haven't called the game, so I'm not sure what that means. That may mean that they're expecting the lights to come on, and it is more complicated than we think.
Well, it's 8:30. It's an hour and a half into the ball game. 8:35, and we've only played 3 innings, so it's going to be a long night if we're able to get it. Now I see the Crabs president, Bill, down talking with the umpires and Robin Guyver. Well, I think one of us ought to go down and find out what's going on, Benjamin. Oh, here's...
I'll go. All right, well, we're going to wait to find out what's going on. Don Holfacker, the first base umpire, is chatting with Tim, our stadium announcer, and it's looking to me like we're not going to be able to continue. which is very disappointing. And still no lights, obviously. People beginning to leave the ballpark now. So, I don't know. I guess we should go back to the studio since there really isn't much else to report. Let's go back to the studio for another couple of minutes, and then we'll come back in about 3 minutes to update you and let you know what the story is. This is Crabs Baseball, 1480 KGOE.
They're working on it right now. It'll be only about 10 minutes. Hopefully. So stick around. Have another beer or hot chocolate.
All right, we are back, and here is the story. The lights were shut off by a power surge. We are going to continue playing. In about 10 minutes, the lights will come back on. It takes a while for them to reset. And so we're just waiting for that now. And so that's excellent news, although it does mean that Hoke has to talk for 10 minutes.
Well, I want to tell you something that's going to come on tomorrow and every Sunday at 6 o'clock till the end of the season, and that is Crab's Corner. Tune into Crab's Corner every Sunday night on Redwood Television's News Channel 3, broadcast at 6 o'clock for a special report on Humboldt Crabs baseball. Insider interviews with Crabs players and coaches, game highlights, and trivia. And one lucky winner who has the correct trivia answer will receive a pair of Crabs tickets. Sponsor Crabs Corner for just $150 per week for 10 weeks of glorious Crabs baseball. Visit redwoodnews.tv or KIEMTV.com for more information if you want to be a sponsor on Crab's Corner. And for those of you who don't want to sponsor it, you sure want to tune in at 6 o'clock every Sunday night. It's a good show. They have some interviews. You get to know the Crabs players, as they say, up close and personal, so you'll want to do that. Okay,
Well,
a recap.
now what?
We can recap what has happened at the ballpark, and what we have seen is outstanding pitching from Andrew Najib.
Yeah, he's been great.
Brush. In 3 innings of work, he has struck out 6 batters, given up only a single, which was immediately erased on a double play. So in 3 innings of work, he has faced the minimum number of 9 Knights batters. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, he's been great.
For the Crabs, meanwhile, they kind of jumped all over the starter, Landon Barrosa. They got a run in the first inning on 3 hits and a hit batter. Second inning, they had 3 hits that inning and 2 runs. And then in the third inning, they came up with 3 runs. And that was aided by a couple of errors. But they also had some key base hits. And the Crabs now in the catbird seat with a 6-run lead through 3 innings. And Najib Brush pitching very well. But now the thing you've got to worry about is this is a very long layoff in cold weather for a pitcher throwing his first ball game of the summer. And you have to wonder, is Brush going to be coming back? Najib Brush going to come back after with about a 45-minute delay? That's not an easy thing to do.
We don't know.
We will find that out. There's no wind, but as Benjamin has said, it has cooled off appreciably.
Oh, it's cold.
And folks are now in heavier jackets. There's nobody in shirt sleeves anymore. At the start of the ball game, you saw a few folks in shirt sleeves, but now everybody is bundled up, cuddling up, and trying to stay warm, hoping that the lights are going to come on and that the game is going to be resumed. That's what we were told by our friend Don Hofacker, the first base umpire. Krusty is now out with the Crabs squad to take photographs. Krusty went through the what do you call this? The concourse? I guess we're going to call this the concourse.
Yeah, he went through the stands and the concourse. Yeah, I think that's right.
And all the kids came up and gave him the claw. I guess what they.
You have to be careful when you high five Krusty because those claws are razor sharp.
They are.
And
we lost
kind of careful there.
We lost a couple of hands last summer,
so,
I believe. It was a tragic event with the Crab just snatched him before the parent could grab the kid away.
He also wears inordinately large shoes. I've always wondered about the large black shoes that he wears, but not found a satisfactory answer to why.
I think he's trying to get on Dancing with the Stars.
It may be correct.
Yeah, I think so. Anyhow, we are awaiting action. Oh, let's spend a moment or two talking about upcoming Crabs ball games, because we've already mentioned tomorrow is the finale of this series, but then our first midweek games take place next week. If I can open this. Ta-da! We will be playing Seals baseball. Seals baseball. They're from the Bay Area. Pretty good.
They used
ball
to
team.
call themselves the San Francisco Seals, and now they're just Seals baseball.
They'll be here Tuesday and Wednesday evening.
And that'll be Liam and I bringing you all the action.
That's right. Liam Werner, the newest member of our broadcast team.
We're excited.
Yeah. And then next weekend we will be playing the Valley Bears. And we'll know more about the Valley Bears.
We don't know what valley they're from, do we?
I don't think they're the Valley of the Dolls. That would be wrong. No, I'm not sure which valley they are from. And then the following weekend, one of the other really fine teams we're going to be playing this year, and that's the Seattle Studs.
Well, in between is the evil Reading Colt 45.
Well, that's a road game, though.
Oh, that's on the road.
That's the road, yeah.
Oh, I see.
The pink ones are
Crabs are
road.
taking off next week after next, huh?
Well, they're taking off only in the midweek.
Only to go to Reading for a couple games.
Then they'll be back here for 3 with the Studs. Then they'll be off for a week with a couple of games with the Prune Packers of Healdsburg, and then the San Luis Obispo Blues in San Luis Obispo.
I may be willing to go to those 2 Reading games for a couple days. broadcast
Well,
the
you
games
need
from Reading?
you need to talk to Liam because he had talked to the Crabs brass, and they are making a determination as to whether we're going to carry those games on the road. Liam, have you heard anything about that? The road stuff, the road games.
I most likely am going to be sent on the road
Nice.
doing games.
Liam's going to do the
Excellent.
games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most
So-
likely, not 100%.
All right, we are hopeful that Liam Werner is going to be doing the road games when the Crabs go on the road in the middle of this month. 2 games in Reading on the 13th and 14th of June, and then the following week they'll go to Healdsburg and San Luis Obispo. And we haven't been able always to bring you the road games, but we're hopeful that we're going to be able to do it this year, and that would be terrific. And this schedule also has an indication of some of the special events and promotions. And as we mentioned, this Sunday, we're going to have Humboldt Roller Derby. Most of the promotions really don't begin until the end of June. I guess the first, I call them silly promotion, fun promotion, is Saturday, June 30th is Cowboy Night. So you get to come as a cowboy. Podna?
I won't be doing that.
You don't like to do the cowboy bit?
No, I don't really.
Well, I'll tell you where.
I'll be out for slovenly Professor Night.
I think that the all-time cowboy event, if you like cowboy stuff, is go to Fort Worth, Texas, and they have a running of the cattle through the town, through the older part of town. But it's a daily event. The bulls come, the cows and bulls come through the center of the old town. It's a great event. Well, it's still dark here,
Getting darker.
and it looks like indications are that it will get darker as the evening proceeds. We're taking a poll on that, and
Oh, they're going to try one more time, huh?
all right, so one more effort is going to be made to get the lights, and I assume if that effort is unsuccessful, this game is going to be called.
Well, then the question is, how long before they can get the lights repaired? I'm assuming they can get them out here by Tuesday. We don't need lights tomorrow, but we will need them Tuesday night.
Yep. Oh, boy. This is also going to be a headache for the ticket takers. I mean, they've got to give some kind of rain check on this. People aren't going to pay $9 to see 3 innings of baseball. So they're going to have to give some kind of ticket to let these folks back into a ball game. And I don't know how they're going to do that. I remember coming to a Crabs game way back when, before we started announcing, so this was back in the day, and it rained. And they gave us a little rain check. We're now getting word from.
They're going to call the game.
All right, we're getting in the background. We'll pass it on to you, but he's explaining to the stadium announcer Tim Warner what's going to happen. They're going to apparently
They are going
make
to call
one
the
more-
game, it sounds like.
Well, I think they're going to make one more effort, and if it doesn't work, then they're going to call the game. But we'll see.
But the plan is then, if it doesn't work out, to start the game tomorrow morning at 11.
They're going to give.
before our 12:30 game, and then the folks who are here tonight will be given a ticket to get into the 11 a.m. game tomorrow.
Boy, that's cutting it mighty close. You're talking about 6 innings in an hour and a half.
Well, I guess I'm assuming the plan is to play it out, and if we have to start the second game later, then that's what we'll do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
really see any other way.
I don't know what else
because
I
the
can
Knights
do.
can't stay.
Right.
You know, the Knights have to get back to or Corvallis or wherever it is they're heading next. And so in about 10 minutes, it sounds like we'll know whether the game is going to play or not. It doesn't sound very promising, though, at this point.
It does not. Well, why don't we send you back to the studio, let KGOE sell a few ads, and we'll come back here in a couple of minutes. You're not listening to Crabs Baseball this evening on KGOE 1480, Arcadia, Eureka. All right, Benjamin, tell the folks what's happening.
Well, it's as I said earlier. It doesn't not look promising for the lights coming back on. The surge blew a fuse. We apparently don't have a replacement fuse. And the folks that control the lights are actually in Kansas. So anyway, it doesn't look like the lights are going to come back on. So the plan, assuming they don't come back on in the next 10 minutes, is, as I said earlier, call the game tonight. Then this game will resume at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Prior to the 12:30 game, and the folks who are at the ballpark tonight will get a ticket for the game tomorrow morning.
And we do hope that the good folks at KGOE at 1480 will have somebody available at the studio, because they didn't expect to be there until later, but we need someone at the studio at about 10:45 or so.
Well, we'll be streaming either way.
We'll stream, right, but
So
for our radio audience, we need to have somebody at the KIEM studio, or KGOE studio, excuse me.
Meanwhile, it's rather dark out on the field, and they are going to they're going to have the 50-50 drawing tonight. That's always important. And other than that, it's just an odd night. The lights out at the ballpark, and too dark now for the players even to be playing catch out on the field. Surprised so many fans have hung around waiting for the game to resume. Very few people have actually left the park.
I think some of them are also waiting. I think some of them also may be
for the
waiting
50-50.
for the 50-50
right.
drawing,
We're
which
gonna
is
call
about
that
to
right
take
now.
place. So they're having the 50-50 drawing. Crab players are gathered around outside the dugout, as are the Knights players outside theirs. And I think this one is about to be called.
One game tomorrow. Oh, only one game. 12:30 tomorrow.
What about all these people? What?
Pizza and Annex. $1 pizza slices, any Annex.
So that's for sure, Hunter. Is that your name? I told you.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what my coach said.
Okay, so now the latest story now is we're not going to resume this game at 11 a.m. This game is over. This game is called. It sounds like. And then what's going to happen tomorrow is
One
the
game
regular
at 12:30.
12:30 game.
And all these folks are going to get some kind of rain check, I would assume, for another visit to the ballpark.
So they
Well,
have
we
decided
haven't-
to call the game, yes.
The game is canceled. There will be one game tomorrow at 12:30.
All right.
So that's the story. Game canceled.
Folks, unfortunately, the lights are not coming back on. We've blown a fuse, and we're going to have a game tomorrow at 12:30 with an A team. Grab a ticket on the way out so you can come back to a game in the future, whether that's tomorrow's game at 12:30 or another game in the future. Games open at 11:30.
All right, that's it. So the folks here are going to be given a ticket as they leave the ballpark, and that'll be good for admission tomorrow or any other game, home game this season. But today's game is, and I guess it's a no contest, which is a blow to the Crabs because they had built up a 6-run lead in 3 innings.
Disappointing.
Radcast and Buddy, Benjamin Schaefer, I'm Hoke Holcomb, and we're rounding third and heading for home.